By the time he said, one second, sir. I said,
Deepa ma'am, will wait for some more time. We can see only five participants are there.
yes, ma'am.
आई एम ऑडिबल राइट नाउ? मेरी आवाज आ रही है?
Deepa ma'am, we are good to start in a minute.
Yes, ma'am. Shall we start, ma'am?
Yes, yes, please. We are on time.
Fine. Good evening, everyone. A warm welcome to all participants joining us for day 3 of the AICTE ATAL Academy sponsored faculty development program 2024-25 on driving innovation for sustainable urban growth, smart cities, mobility, logistics, and startup ecosystems. Before, before we dive into today's exciting session, let's take a moment to reflect on the journey we had so far. Give us a quick recap of the insights and activities from day 1 and 2. I now invite our ATAL FDP coordinator, Dr. Pankaj A. Tiwari, to share her thoughts and set the tone for the today's session. Over to you, ma'am.
Sure, Deepa ma'am, thank you so much, and good evening to all the participants who are returning back home or be at home and or maybe at the verge of leaving to our home. So, good evening to one and all, and I'm really delighted to be again speaking to all of you and addressing today that we are at the day 3, the day we have started, and now we are on the day 3. Day 2 was the combination of multiple things because we had 3 different speakers from the different corner of the country and the internationally also they spoke. So day 2 was actually the rich exploration of the smart city ecosystem, sustainable innovation, and urban mobility solutions. Ravi Mukundan, he was CEO of 10XG Ventures. He delivered a compelling session on building startup ecosystem in context of smart cities. He actually outlined the strategies such as fostering innovation hubs, creating funding opportunity, and aligning government policies to enable entrepreneurial growth. When we look into the second session of day 2, I think we have learned so much about outside of our country from Dr. Srivastava. He is an assistant professor at the University of the West of Scotland. He emphasized on the significance of innovation in achieving sustainable growth. His session provided real-world examples of businesses successfully blending sustainability and innovation for long-term impact. And I believe some of you have actually shared your reflection, how the with lovely ways he has actually shared about the Sri Lanka. So that was a very nice case study he's presented. Towards the end of the day 2, Dr. Ashok G. Matani, he is a retired professor from Jalgaon Engineering College, and he concluded the evening with a discussion on smart mobility solutions. He explored the transformative potential of technology and enhancing urban transport systems, focusing on efficiency and environmental impact and the challenges associated with implementing these solutions in modern cities. So that was on day 2, and now as on we are the day 3, we have again expertise from different domains and especially from the solar side and the on the digital transformations front. We will have Nikhil and Meenakshi ma'am today with us. So definitely again some more learning and many more things to learn again and explore today. So thank you so much and please enjoy your evening. Thank you, Deepa ma'am. Please over to you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Pankaj ma'am, for the wonderful recap and for highlighting the key takeaways from the last 2 days. It truly sets a perfect foundation for what's in store for us today. Now, let's move on to the today's session. To introduce our distinguished speaker for this evening, I would like to invite Dr. Ramya to take the virtual stage and do the honor. Ma'am?
Good evening, everyone. Is it audible to you?
Yes, ma'am.
Good evening, all. It is an honor to introduce our esteemed resource person for today's session, Mr. Nikhil Shrivastava, a visionary leader and a seasoned professional with over 2 decades of experience in the telecommunications and technology sectors. Mr. Shrivastava's journey is a testament to excellence, innovation, and strategic leadership. Currently, he serves as the founder of Blue Neba Technologies Private Limited, a company he established in 2018 to drive innovation and provide cutting-edge technology solutions. Under his leadership, Blue Neba Technologies has emerged as a significant player in the industry, known for its strategic vision and customer-centric approach. Before founding Blue Neba Technologies, Mr. Srivastava held pivotal leadership roles at Systemas Shyam Teleservices Limited. As head of network function, he was part of the core leadership team responsible for overseeing pan-India network operations, quality, and deployment strategies. His efforts were instrumental in optimizing costs, enhancing customer satisfaction, and ensuring regulatory compliance. His career also includes prominent roles with Nokia and Siemens Network, where he managed large scale network implementations and strategic project management on a global scale, including significant assignments in India and Russia. Academically, Mr. Shrivastava holds an MBA from Kingston University, UK, and a Bachelor of Engineering in Telecommunications from Shriji S Institute of Technology and Science. He is also a certified project management professional, reflecting his strong expertise in project execution and delivery. With his unparalleled expertise in business strategy, leadership, telecommunications, and vendor management, Mr. Shrivastava has consistently driven transformational growth and innovation in his career. Today, he is here to share his insights and inspire us with his vast knowledge and experiences. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Nikhil Shrivastava. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Lamia
Thanks
ma'am,
a
for the excellent introduction. Without further delay, now I invite our esteemed speaker, Mr. Nikhil, to lead today's session and share his valuable insights on the role of entrepreneurship in shaping the future of energy and mobility. Sir, the stage is yours.
Thanks a lot, ma'am, for such a nice introduction. First of all, I'd like to thank St. Francis College for organizing this program under the ATAL umbrella, and Dr. Pankaj Tiwari for giving me a chance to participate and put in my views with all the participants here. Myself, Nikhil Shrivastava, I started my career somewhere in 1995 when the telecom revolution had just started in India and also in most of the countries except for Europe, where it had already started. So I was fortunate. I did my degree. I got a job. I was working with Siemens, and the things were really good for the first 20-25 years, I can say. So I traveled across India also, and then I was for around 11 years. I was in Russia, where I traveled a lot around CIS countries, launching networks, making mobile communication available for all. And then I came back to India when there was a lot of new operators had come in. I was working with MTS India, and we were mainly a data-driven company. So we were focused on CDMA technology and giving the data push for the country. And somewhere in 2017, when we had a lot of consolidation of telecom companies, by that time telecom had already reached its peak, and I was thinking what to do next. And I would say that I'm not a born entrepreneur, or means business does not run in our family. We are only there to work for someone else. And it took me quite a while to decide, okay, let's take a dip and let's try to set up our own company. So that time solar was something renewable and sustainable development. I was living in Gurgaon. Every year the pollution was there, and green energy, sustainable development was something which was very close to my heart. And I thought, okay, let's give it a try. And we picked up the solar sector mainly for the rooftop solar, where earlier, while we were always busy installing towers at the roofs or at the greenfield sites, here I was more focused on having solar being put up at each and every house. So after starting the work there, we were 2-3 founder members, and unfortunately or fortunately, I can say, one of our founder members, he got a job within few months of the incorporation of our company, and he decided to get again to the safe environment where you have a job, you have a salary. And then that was the time then I decided, okay, let's do it. And we started work initially in Gurgaon, and then we moved to Bhopal, where we have got a lot of work going on in MP. So I would start my presentation. I'll give you a brief about our company, and thereafter about the solar technology, and subsequently we will discuss about how the energy and the mobility sector is moving.
నాకెందుకు మీరు మీ
So
కొడుకునే తినమనండి.
Mm.
Nikhil, you are on mute. Kindly unmute yourself.
Um, so I think earlier you were listening to me now, or
No, kindly, because for a few minutes it was not on, it was unmuted actually. So kindly begin.
so
We can
should
start with
I?
the first line. We are fine.
Okay, from the very beginning. Okay, then again, thanks to St. Francis College for
No,
giving me this up.
okay. So I think we have covered an in between when you
That
started your slides. Then it's about actually
yeah.
what got.
Okay, that's fine. So finally, means I started the company. Blue Neighbor Technologies is a company which I formed, and the name of the company blue is stands for the color blue, which is very close to my heart and heart of a lot of people. And Neba is coming from the Russian word for sky. So basically, it's blue sky technologies because I wanted to still have something to do with Russia, with which I had spent quite a lot of time. We are mainly focused on rooftop solar, and uh, as I was telling that I'm a kind of a forced entrepreneur. So, but now I like the journey. It's pretty good. So our company is just a second. Let me see, the slide transition seems to be okay. Uh, so our company is mainly focused on rooftop solar. We have done residential solar projects. Besides that, we also do a lot of commercial projects. We are doing projects for infrastructure companies. So on a lot of highways, if you will be seeing in the future the Bangalore Chennai highways, when you will be driving on that, you will see quite a lot of solar installations on the tolls or on the intersection points. The government is giving a huge push to renewable energy and particularly solar, because solar is pretty easy to deploy and it's scalable. You can install let's say small 2 kilowatt system or 3 kilowatt system, and you can even have a gigawatt kind of a park which can cater to the needs of several cities. We are empaneled with 4 states where we are working, and also we work for IOCL and HPCL. So I would see if I hope this the sound would be audible. If not, then uh, I'm extremely sorry. I think there's.
Yes, sir.
Uh,
Yes, sir.
yeah,
You
we can
can now start, sir.
So I was. I'm sorry. Somehow it got disconnected because we are in a little bit remote area at the moment. Uh, I was mentioning that in Gujarat, Rajasthan, which are the places where we have got the highest level of radiation, solar radiation in India. India has more than 300 days of sunny days, and that's why solar has really taken up in India with different business models, which I'll bring to you. It goes solar. Obviously, it reduces your electricity bill. It gives you energy cost stability. It's a good return on investment. You can get your return of investment within 4 years with more than 25% return. There's the tax advantages. There are flexible financing options, improving the property values. The financing options currently government is giving a lot of money. They're pushing banks to give financing for solar through PSU banks, through NBFCs, and through SIDBI and other places. The solar does not require a lot of maintenance, but obviously it requires maintenance, which is basically cleaning. Otherwise, it works well for almost 25 years. The panels have got a 25 years of life.
Nikhil, sorry to bother in between. If you are facing network bandwidth issue, kindly switch off your video. It's absolutely fine. If you are facing any network bandwidth issue there, because we are not able to hear you properly. So my request, you can continue, please. Thank you.
The key components of solar plant. In case if you have problems with my audio, please you let me know. Key
Yes,
components
I
of
will.
solar plants. Is it audible? It's okay now.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
So key components of solar plants are basically the solar panels, which when the sun rays fall, they start generating current, which gets converted from direct current to alternating current by means of this inverter. Thereafter, you use it, whatever energy is required, you use it within your house or a school or a business, and you can then export the remaining to the grid. To keep a track of what you have imported and what you have exported, this meter needs to be changed, and it becomes a bidirectional meter, which is basically a net meter. There are mainly three types of system of solar plants: off-grid, on-grid, and hybrid. Off-grid is normally used at places where you need batteries for the storage, where the power availability is not so good, and you generate all the power and you store it in the batteries. On-grid is used where you have a good supply of power, and you use it for exporting for your own use, and you export the remaining, and you use your discom like a bank, where you can bank all your extra power which you have generated. Hybridism is a mixture of both. Advantages of off-grid is that you can store the batteries and then you can use it whenever you want to use it. On-grid is cheaper, it requires less maintenance, and you use basically grid as a storage. Disadvantage of off-grid is that you've got limited storage. The costs are very high because of the batteries, and it requires extra space also. While on-grid, there is one disadvantage of on-grid, which is if there is no supply coming from the grid, then your inverter will also switch off, because you're not allowed to export when there is nothing coming in, as it can be fatal for someone. Hybrid is a mixture of both, but the problem with hybrid is that it is more costlier. Now the costs are coming down as the volumes are picking up, but as of now they are much more costlier. This is one slide which shows you how within 3 to 4 years you recover all your initial costs, and thereafter for the next 25 years you are saving, and the saving for a 5 kilowatt system, you can save close to 10 lakh rupees if you are using it for all 25 years. This is a graph which shows how your generation moves from January to December. So obviously solar is is dependent upon the season. So you have got good generation during the from February till June. Then during the rainy seasons, the generation is not much, and also in the winters, the generation goes down because the days are less, the sunshine time is less. How do we work, or why we the process is basically you see what is the requirement of the customer. You see, you can do a digital survey, you do 3D design. Shadow analysis is extremely important. There are a lot of tools coming up for shadow analysis, because shadow is something which hampers your generation directly. Then you can do the central monitoring of all the generation. You can do on a web. So on a phone, you can monitor how the generation is ongoing. You can see if it is how the generation was yesterday, how it was one year back, how it was last month. So all these data is secure, and there's a lot of business opportunities also in this field in terms of data analysis, and in terms of AI will also play a role, because based on AI you can also do predictive preventive maintenance. This is just a graph which shows how the system will be. So based on Google only, you can do a planning of everything. So now basically a lot of movement to the sites is not required, because thanks to Google and with GPS you are able to find the correct location. You also see what is except for the shadow analysis, you don't need to go to the site. This is the monitoring system which we set up, where you can monitor all the generation of all your systems which are installed there. So we have close to 1,000 systems which are there, and we have a team which has a kind of solar monitoring system, monitoring center, where we monitor all these systems. It's an example of an electricity bill. So in case of solar, this 112 units were imported, which were taken from the grid, which is basically during the night time, and 410 units were exported. It's a 5 kilowatt system. So effectively, he had put in 300 units to the grid as a credit, which they can use subsequently in the next months or months to come. The energy charges, finally, what he's paying is he has just paid a bill of 75 rupees. A typical solar generation during sunny weather, how it looks like, it's a parabola. So at 6 in the morning, the generation will start on a normal day, and then it will finish by 6 in the evening. From 11 till 3, these are the peak times of the day, when you have got very good very good generation. And that is one limitation of solar, because you can only generate during particular hours. You can't generate it round for 24 hours. That is why we need to have storage, which is extremely important to be able to use solar. And now a lot of work is ongoing for on the technologies in which we can store a lot of amount of power. The tenders which are coming up now are not for megawatt scale, but they are for MWH, which is megawatt hour. How much megawatt hour of energy can be stored? This is a typical solar generation on a cloudy day, when you see that during in the morning it would have been raining or cloudy, so the generation is not constant. Then maybe the clouds went away, so the generation peaked, and then it went down again because of the cloud. These are some photos of the installation of our solar plants, which are done at different places. So now let's move to the topic of intersection of entrepreneurship and emerging energy and mobility. So as an introduction, we will be first discussing about the challenges, what are there in terms of energy mobility, and what are the opportunities what we have from those challenges. Then we will discuss the startups, the role of startups, how startups should be made, and then the urban mobility transformation, and then a little bit we can discuss about the funding and the impact which we can have from venture capitalists, from government is also doing a lot of funding. So urban mobility challenges. First and foremost are the challenges of the infrastructure. While we are making very huge, good quality highways, which also have now EV charging, which also have solar lights there, and the road quality is good. But within the city, how to change the existing outdated and inadequate infrastructure is a big challenge. Secondly, any solution which comes up, how to scale it up. any solution with regards to mobile technologies and with for in the field of energy, the scaling up of these kind of solutions is a big problem. The any offer which we are bringing, that should have inclusivity into it. It should be possible to that we are able to provide these services to all the people. Effectively, the costs should not shoot up so high that people are not able to use it. Second problem what we have is with regards to storage. So there's a high initial cost, which in terms of EVs and hydrogen fuel cells, and the storage limitations are there because the current technologies what we are using for lithium ion batteries, they are still extremely expensive and extremely limited as on day. Then the problem is with the grid reliability, because the grid is not extremely reliable as on date, and a lot of efforts have to be put in, a lot of investments required to upgrade the grid also. So when we move to emerging opportunities, the opportunities which we have from this, mainly the renewable energy is one of the main thing, because energy is the most important thing what we need for developing our smart cities, for developing sustainable development. We need clean energy, obviously. Then in a smart mobility areas, where we have innovations in electric vehicles, shared mobility solutions, and smart infrastructure. Sustainability is another important thing. So we are having these waste segregation, how to dispose of the waste. Like in Delhi, we always have huge mountains which are waste, and there is no idea how we can use those waste for us. In the society in which I live in Gurgaon, for example, there we have got the waste segregation, and we do the composting there. So with this composting, the manure which we use from that composting is used for all the plants there, and it gives a very good result. So when we move to energy storage and smart mobility, the options are there is that we have to the chances of working in this field are great. There are breakthrough in battery technology and alternative storage like green hydrogen, which can enhance grid reliability and enable great renewable energy integration also. Transformation of mobility. There are a lot of solutions coming up for mobility, which are like with ride sharing, having one common app, one common platform in which you can use all different kind of multimodal transports can be integrated into one. The role of startups in energy mobility systems. So main domains of startups, if you see as of now, obviously e-commerce was one of the very important thing which was happening for quite some time, for the last 10-15 years. A lot of startups were in the field of e-commerce. Thereafter, now the renewable energy startups are gaining ground. Energy startups are energy storage is, as I've been telling, it's a great area. There are a lot of companies on which I'll be giving you the details subsequently. There will be case studies which we will be discussing. Then electric vehicles and shared mobility. Essential factors for a startup. So when I started on my own journey, it was the startup journey. It was pretty difficult, because you have to do everything on your own. When you are working in a company, you are surrounded by people. The people are able to help you with most of the things. If there is a legal issue, you have a legal person. If there is an issue with finance, you can go to your CFO, to the accountant. But when you are having a startup, you have to do almost everything on your own. You should at least know each and every department pretty well. So building a strong foundation, the team has to be there. The team, it's good if you have a team of people with diverse group with complementary skills. A friend of mine, he was working in Snapdeal. Then they started this company called Off Business. Off Business is a company which is into, basically it's giving products to infrastructure companies, and the company became a unicorn within 2 or 2.5 years. But the best thing was in that team, from day one they knew the role of each and every person. So there was a guy, my friend, he is the CTO of this company, Bhavan Gupta, and then there were other people who were into finance, marketing, and the one person whose job was really to get the funding. The market alignment has to be there, because you cannot do a startup of something which is not really really required in the market. Maybe it might be required in the market 5 years down the line, but we have to be realistic about the product what we are building. It's extremely important, because then at least one problem is out of your to-do list, that is to create a market. Creating a market is one of the very difficult things. For example, even in solar field, 10 years 10 years ago, the companies which were in the solar fields, which were considered to be big companies in the solar fields, they became bankrupt, they closed their business. And in the last 5 years, a lot of companies are coming in, they're doing great business and they're expanding, they're doubling their revenue every year. So you have to time the market properly. For fueling growth, first and foremost, obviously, is to have funding. You should have at least 6 months of funding in front of you, because it gets you get rid of one of the most important things, that you know that at least for the next 6 months I'm secure. I can focus on my job, on my market, on my product. Otherwise, every month when you see your balance sheet, when you see your P&L, you get scared. So securing funding is is extremely important. It can be even a debt funding, if in case if you're not able to get equity funding. And along with an equity funding, what comes best is the mentorship, because if somebody is giving money to your company, he would definitely like to see what you're doing. That way, when you get an experienced mentor, their guidance can help you navigate challenges, even if your mentor is not from your field, but he can help you out in making decisions which are maybe not technically of your field, but he has enough experience to let you know what decisions to take, what risks to take, where we should invest time, what team to build. So these are the things what comes with a mentor. Cultivate adaptability. We have to be flexible. We can't say that, okay, we started with this product, okay, it's not working, but we'll keep building the same product. That's not how it should be. We have to be very flexible, because the markets are now changing, not in a decade. They're changing within 2 to 3 years. The kind of business models which are coming in, they are great. Like Ola Electric was formed just 3-4 years ago, and today it's a market leader. It has got 30% share. Ola was nowhere there in the two-wheeler segment. It is now much ahead of Bajaj, TVS, or anybody else. So the people, a company coming from a totally different segment, is now the market leader with 30% market share. Build resilience. The mental toughness is very extremely important. Most of the startups fail is not only because of their idea stuff, it's because of the burnout factor of the the founders. Startups should have a strong value proposition, definitely focus on impact, technology focus, and scalability. Scalability is extremely important, because once your proof of concept is there, you have to focus on how best and how fast you can scale it up. Challenges in energy mobility field. Basically, first and foremost is the market competition, because the competition from old and established corporations with the fossil fuels is huge. They have got a very strong hold on the regulatory framework. They control it, and it requires quite a lot of innovation and strategy positioning to beat them. Initial capital, as I was earlier mentioning, is extremely important, because securing sufficient funding for research and development is crucial to drive progress in energy and mobility sector. Regulatory framework, navigating complex regulatory environments. For example, when we started our work in solar, within some time, net metering used to be a very big problem, because every state was following its own policy. They were not allowing other people to. I mean, there was a central guidelines, but anyway, every state was following its own policy. Thereafter, the central government took control, and they said, okay, so and so policy has to work. Every state has to allow net metering. Examples of energy mobility startups. So obviously, the market leader Tesla is there, and I would share a few more slides about Tesla in the next subsequently. Ola Electric is one of the great examples. Now Ola Electric, the target is to have 10,000 own stores, and 4,000 they'll be having by the end of this year. Their growth is great. They're selling. They last month I think they sold 40,000 units. Then there is also Ether Energy in the same field. Ola Electric has got a funding of over $1 billion now. There's another company called Gogoro in Taiwan, which is basically into battery swapping. They have also started their work in India. I'll also give you a few slides of Gogoro subsequently. So they started this battery swapping concept because battery is one thing, which is charging of the battery is the time taken to charge a battery is the biggest constraint for adapting the electric vehicles. There are some more energy startups like Sunrun, which is in our field of solar. So Sunrun, which was founded in 2007, they started with solar, and then they subsequently realized that the adaptation of solar, the biggest problem is the one-time cost, and the belief that it will be working. So they came up with this brilliant idea of solar as a service, where they can lease you the solar plant, or they can install it to your place as an OPEX. So they'll be taking some EMIs from you. This innovative approach eliminated upfront costs. Thus, they were able to access, or they were able to give renewable energy for homeowners. And now Sunrun is obviously it's a listed company, and it's the market leader in US. Similarly, Enphase Energy is also a US based company. So when we install solar in places like Bangalore, Cochin, or in coastal areas, you have a problem of moving shadow, because there are big trees, and then the shadow keeps moving. And they came up with this idea of micro inverter. So behind every panel there is an inverter. So if normally these panels are connected in series. So if one panel is degraded, it affects the performance of other panels also. So when you are having one panel for one inverter for one panel, it helps in isolating the degradation of another panel, will not be affecting the performance of this panel. So we can go. I'll discuss a little bit about Tesla. So Tesla has got 4 key verticals. Basically, they are into electric vehicles, they are into energy storage, and they've got the solar solutions with their Tesla roof integrated solar cells, and they've got the supercharger charger network, by which they have got fast charging stations across the country. So Tesla's innovative business model is they have got the complete vertical integration. They try to have everything in-house or under their control, because the supply chain is controlled by them, from manufacturing to energy generation to storage and also to selling. So they have got direct to consumer sales. They have eliminated dealership, and they make sure that the customer has got a seamless customer experience. This model allows them for better customer engagement and feedback also. Technology-wise, the investments done by Tesla is huge. They really invest a lot into their R&D, and they want to be really to be ahead of all their competitors in terms of technology. They had challenges also. So they had battery supply constraints. Then they addressed this by building gigafactories in Nevada, Texas, and in Berlin to scale up battery production. Affordability, Tesla was pretty expensive, so they came up with this Model 3, which is targeted into a mass market adoption. And there were delays with solar roof. These delays they have because initially the solar roof of Tesla was not very successful, because the generations were not good, and then they invested into it, and now currently I think it's doing pretty well. Key lessons from them is obviously innovation, customer-centric approach. We have to be focused towards the customers, and sustainability commitment, because this is one thing when you launch a project which is product which is sustainable, which brings with it all these green things. The customer is ready to pay a small premium, at least a small premium on it, because everybody now in the urban areas is pretty scared of the kind of impact which this pollution will have on us. So now let me discuss a little bit about the renewable energy options which we have in India. So renewable energy has given birth to a lot of entrepreneurs. I would there are close to 2,000 to 3,000 entrepreneurs or vendors working in each state. and maybe 2030 in each small districts also. So net metering, as I had explained to you all earlier, it's a solar generation. So the generation is done by the panels, which the excess is fed to the grid, and the credit adjustment is done. Now, when we talk about open access, so obviously you cannot install solar on, or even if you install solar on all the roofs in the city, it's not sufficient to cater to the energy needs of the city. So what is done? We have got something called open access, where you install, you take up land, you install a big, let's say 100 megawatt or a 200 megawatt watt project. Even if, for example, if your company needs a smaller one, let's say 2 megawatt project, you can install there. You pump in the power there, and then you can take out the power at the place where you're using it. A lot of hotels, cement factories, even some big industrial organizations, they opt for this open access. There are different ways of this. So you basically pay the wheeling charges to the government, because they're wheeling your power from the place of generation to where you are using it, and the surcharges are paid. There are short-term contracts of 1 month or so, which is extremely rare. Then there are medium-term contracts of at least 2 to 3 years, and then there are long-term contracts in which you can have 7 to 10 years of contracts, or maybe 25 years also. So captive solar plant is another option which people use in their industries. There you are disconnected from the grid. You generate whatever power you need, and you use it within your own premises. So this is a comparative chart which shows which options to use when. Except this, also there are many more things, many more different models are coming in, and we can there are group net metering options are there, which virtual net metering options are there. So a lot of different business models are being promoted even by the government also, and they're working now. Let me give you a very small brief about this PM Surya Ghar Muft Bijli Yojana, which is basically the free electricity scheme launched by the government of India. So initially, 2 years back, when there were a lot of tenders which were done, 3 years back, a lot of tenders were done, and the government was giving subsidy directly to the vendors, and the vendors were getting impaneled in the state. The central government was pretty active. They wanted all the states to have their tenders done, and then and provide subsidy to the vendor. But a lot of states, the work did not happen at all. So after a long time, they started something called a national portal, which was initially so that you can get impaneled in the national portal as a vendor, and you do the work, and the subsidy will be directly given to the consumer. Thereafter, this year in February, March, our Prime Minister, he declared that we want to have 1 crore houses with solar. That was the time since when I am really surprised how effectively the team has worked. So from MNRE hired REC as REC is the Regional Energy Corporation as its nodal agency, as the project management team. They made a new portal. They put their people at different places, and then secondly what they did was they started giving training to people, so that there is a good number of installers are available. They hired a lot of vendors were invited to join this portal. Key benefits of this objective is you get cheaper electricity, because the solar electricity is pretty cheap. There are generous subsidies, so you get a subsidy of 78,000 for a 3 kilowatt system, and you get a subsidy of 60,000 for a 2 kilowatt system, and for a 3 kilowatt system you get 78,000. Besides this, a lot of states have got their own subsidies, which is like UP is giving a subsidy of 30,000 rupees. Delhi has got a generation-based incentive, so whatever unit you generate, you get an add-on money from there. It's a long-term saving. There are loans which are organized by the government at very, very cheap rates. So you get a loan at 7%. At the 7% loan, you can, which is like almost 2.5% lower than the rate which is normally offered. For a 3 kilowatt system, you get a 7% rate, and you can install a system for just 10,000 rupees with an upfront payment of 10,000 rupees. Environmental impact is there because there is a target of 30 gigawatt of rooftop solar, which India has taken up. Eligibility and application process is extremely simple. You don't need any major documents. You just need your electricity bill. It should be in the name of the person. You should be having a bank account, which you should be having the same name, and the money will be credited to that account. You register yourself on the national portal. You select your vendor. You will see a list of vendors which are working there. You will also see their what kind of performance they are doing. So there is a vendor rating program also ongoing. And then once the installation is done, the subsidy will be directly credited to your account. For 5 years, the vendor will be responsible to make sure that the system is working, and for that he has to give a bank guarantee to the government. Economic social impact. So one of the main impact of this, except for the green part, is the job creation. It has given really a boost. I'm working in mainly in Bhopal, where I see within a very short time, there are now around 200 to 300 companies. And these are all youngsters in the age group of, let's say, 23, 24 to 30 years. And they're very excited because they have been working in this solar and for quite some time now, for a year or so. And they can see that okay, now they get this pleasure that they are able to give jobs also to people. So this includes opportunities, and except for the vendorship, there's a lot of opportunities in manufacturing solar panels. MP is coming up with a big plan of setting up a 200 to 400 acres of land, which has been identified by MPIDC, the MP Industrial Development Corporation, where there will be setting up the manufacturing hub only for solar. That will be the first of its kind in India, and they're inviting a lot of companies to come and invest there. Rural development is there. There are a lot of model solar villages are being built, which I'll discuss with you. Sachi, which is also a solar city, and the long-term energy, because as we know, in India we need, except for the green energy, we need energy as a whole. I think the double or triple of the energy what we are using now would be required in next 4-5 years, because till now only the last pole of the last village has got energy. Now people will start using coolers, will start using other appliances, so the energy requirement will definitely shoot up. So Sachi is one of the of India's pioneering solar city. It was decided to make Sachi as a solar city. So the idea behind was to do it in such a way, because it's a historical gem. It's a very important place for the Buddhists, and it's a right size kind of a city. It's not very big, and so one big solar plant was set up near to Sachi, which was catering to the main needs of the city. Thereafter, a lot of these kind of solar lights were put. We were having all these solar, all the government offices. The solar was installed there. We were also participating there in installing solar for the houses, for the residences. And today, so Sachi is a solar city with having most of its needs coming from there. So there is a solar power infrastructure with government buildings and public facilities. There's historical significance, obviously, of Sachi, and the economic benefit is there because the electricity cost goes low with solar. It is a good example of sustainable urban growth. It is helping us to reach our renewable energy targets. And after having the success of Sachi, few more cities have been declared or announced, which will be going solar. It's good to go to a UNESCO place, to a Buddhist such a pilgrim place for them, where you see that it's being run with the solar energy. Let's move on to urban mobility now. So urban mobility is basically when we see the old times where we were having traditional mobility, when people used to walk around and they had to take some horses to go from one place to another. Thereafter, we had automobile era, where a car became a status symbol, and the roads infrastructure was built. Subsequently, we had the mass transit systems, the start of metro in countries like Russia and European places, where they started it in the 30s or so, 1930s or so, with the making of of metro. Then we had our sustainable and shared mobility, where the increased investments in public transport. That was also a time when our Delhi metro was put on papers and the work had started there. Policies to reduce vehicle emissions, the BS4, BS6, all those kind of rules had come in, and the emergence of shared mobility options. Now we are in the smart mobility era where we have this rise of electric vehicles, the multimodal transport is there, and a focus on sustainability and infrastructure upgrades. The future will be autonomous vehicles, which are already there in use, maybe urban air mobility also, which I'm very hopeful that we will be there and we will be able to see how you can travel on the air for very short distances. So urbanization is increased demand for your efficient mobility solutions in growing cities. It has driven the evolution of urban transport also. There's a lot of technological advancements is required, and the breakthrough in AI, IoT, and renewable energy. It has enabled new mobility options. There's a lot of awareness of people for the environment because of the kind of problems also what we are facing, and obviously the consumer preference. The consumers are now opting to travel for short distances with something which is good for the environment also. Public transport innovations. First is obviously the electrification. We have got the electric buses and trains, which are reducing emissions and noise pollution. Now we have buses running between cities also. While I went to China somewhere around 10-15 years back, so that time also they were having electric buses running between cities. Now in India also we have got electric buses running between cities. Like Indore to Bhopal, there's an electric bus. It's pretty good to travel in it. Renewable energy transit systems are there with integrating solar, wind, and hydropower. And then wireless charging is something which is coming up, which is with inductive charging pads. At bus stops, you can and depots, you can, while the bus is standing, it can be charged. Then there's obviously on the infrastructure part and the IoT part, we have got smart bus stops, adaptive traffic management, and the contactless payment. In contactless payment, I think we all need to really feel proud of our country, which has done great, and because we all the people are using Paytm, and all the payments are done through Phone Pay, Paytm, Google Pay, and that obviously reduces the time for the driver while boarding and unboarding also. And in India, this is one thing which has really taken off: the adaptability of our country, because of such a huge population of young people. So they have really adapted to these digital payments and wallets. Benefits of micro mobility: it's good for short distances. It is environmental benefits are there. There are benefits of through small places you can travel, and definitely it's cost efficient, which is pretty good. Mobility as a service is something which is now new and has come up, and instead of buying tickets for all different kind of platforms, so you buy one type of ticket for metro, then you buy a ticket for a bus, then you might have to buy a ticket for some other kind of uses. So companies are coming up integrating all of them into one. So there's a company called Vim, which is in Helsinki, which it has got a single with single charge you can travel across all different kind of transports. Just recently, I was reading you can book a shikara on Dal Lake using Uber. So this is how things are evolving. All subscription based models are coming in, and different kind of transports are getting involved into one. So mobility as a service, it's a huge business opportunity also for people in IT field, because you can set up platforms. You become an aggregator of all different kind of transports. Key technologies which are enabling AV is Internet of Things. Obviously, it is required for smart infrastructures like sensors, traffic lights, and parking systems. Artificial intelligence, so that the AVs can communicate and can make decisions fast. 5G connectivity is something which is we all think that 5G is required because of the speed, but the speed of the data transmission, it is already sufficient for our with 4G. 5G is the main business case of 5G is the low latency. It gives a low latency because when there's a communication between vehicles and smart city systems, the latency should be low. Blockchain is the required for the privacy of data because a lot of data is getting transported, is getting transferred from one place to another. So we need to have the um, for securing the data, the blockchain technology is required. Certain case studies of autonomous vehicles in smart cities. Obviously, Singapore has taken a lead. They're coming up with something called V2X, vehicle to everything, and that's currently in their mobility test bed. Then we have got Phoenix, which has got Waymo, which has got autonomous vehicles are there. Stockholm is building a trial. It's doing trial for autonomous buses that communicate with real-time traffic management systems. And in UAE also they are doing projects on this. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Battery swapping is something which I would like to give you some insight. So while we are adapting EV and it's working well, the main problem is how to charge them and the cost of the batteries. So this problem is something which has been addressed by few companies. So battery swapping technologies, it's really emerging as a game-changing solution in the EV ecosystem. It is helping because of the lengthy charging times and high upfront battery costs. Companies have come up with different models where you can just come in, you can swap, and you are ready to go. So it's as fast as filling up a petrol pump as filling up your tank on a petrol pump. Now, Gogoro it's a company from Taiwan, which I saw on the net only. So it launched its innovative battery swapping model for electric scooters. Now they've got over 12,000 stations across Taiwan. While a technological integration was they have done. So with technological integration, what they do is with the IoT-based systems on the batteries, you can see the real lifetime performance of the batteries, and you can take corrective actions or preventive actions before it, so that you can optimize the performance of your batteries. They have got 90% of the market share of Taiwan, and they have done the global expansion. So they are already in India, China, Indonesia, Nepal, and some other countries. In India, I think they have tied up with ZIP, ZYPP. If you would have seen it, it's pretty common to see it in Gurgaon. They supply the batteries there, and also with Hero, they have got a tie-up. Sun Mobility, it's our own Indian company based out of Chennai. So they have also targeted the three-wheeler and the two-wheeler market along with the buses. I was taking a metro from in Gurgaon, and I suddenly saw a lot of people assembled at one places. So they were all the people were having these three-wheelers. So they will come with their own batteries. It's not too heavy. They'll just put in there. It shows how much your battery is already charged. You take a new battery, so the delta between the two, based on their calculation and algorithm, that is what you have to pay. So they have come up with something called battery as a service model, which decouples your battery cost, because one of the most important cost, the biggest cost factor of the vehicle, at least for the three-wheelers, is the battery. So when the battery cost gets away from it, it's pretty easy to buy. And plus, you are not so much worried about the maintenance of the battery because it is being done by the company which is owing it. The problem is the standardization. How to standardize the use of these so that all the batteries are similar. Similarly, on the highway front, that means for commercial vehicles, they have got a tie-up with Ashok Leyland and Piaggio, where they are having this adoption and integration of battery, which is a big thing because commercial in the commercial vehicle sector, which is like one bus carries so many people there, and you can go for long distances also. So that is good innovation, a good business model developed by Sun Mobility. Challenges in this is obviously the standardization. because all the batteries are coming with the different features, with the different kind of connectors, with different kind of battery sizes and connectors. And so you need to have something called a battery swapping policy, where you can have one kind of standard for a particular, at least 2-3 type of batteries. But definitely the car builder, the company which is making car would like to have the battery cost built in, and the people should pay for it. Secondly is the infrastructure investment. A lot of investment is required, because finally these batteries have to be charged, and if they have to be charged at some faraway place, because you on a highway or so, you need to have the power availability there, so that you can charge the big batteries over there. And the battery life cycle management, how to increase the longevity of the batteries using algorithms, so that you can see the operational efficiencies of these batteries. Global insights, there's a company called NIO, which is a success story of China, and there's a company called Better Place, which is from Israel. So NIO China was a success story with the electric cars, and they have over 2,000 stations, because the infrastructure and everything was in place. The good thing, I think, in China is that whatever they start to do, they make sure that they get the infrastructures and things in place. And in Israel, I'm not saying that Israel doesn't do it, but unfortunately the infrastructure was not in place, so the company had to wind up after a particular time. Advantages, we had discussed about the battery swapping technology. Obviously, it's fast refueling, it's cost efficient, and you have a flexibility in terms of payment also, and in terms of upgrading the battery also. So, for example, if 2 years down the line some new batteries have come up, you don't have to change the car. You can upgrade, because the battery doesn't belong to you; it belongs to the company. So, current success is there with governance and mobility. Ongoing challenge is the same like standardization, and the future prospects is, I think, I personally feel this is extremely important, because one of the main reasons for people, even for me also, not opting for an electric vehicle is you get that kind of that, oh, what if I have to go far away? One of my close friends, father, he bought an electric vehicle, but then after a certain time he realized that he cannot travel to far away places. So then he bought another um, the Toyota Hyryder he bought, which is a mixture of petrol and hybrid car. Moving to the venture capital funding for energy mobility solutions, there are options available. It is funding high risk, high reward. When you go for a VC, when he's putting in money, the success rate is just around 10 to 15%. So obviously it's a high risk, a high reward for them. So they will help you in accelerating and the development and scaling up, and make sure that you get also their expertise and mentorship. Challenges is the failure rate is pretty high, which is let's say could be 70 to 80%. There is a lot of pressure from the VC if they put the money, that you have to scale it up as fast as possible. So if you're running at a speed of 10 and then some money is put to you, they want you to run at a speed of 30, which which sometimes is not what suits the company, but that's what it is. And then the access of VC is pretty limited, because it is considered in few regions, and a few industries, in few sectors only. A rise of VC in energy and mobility, definitely, because it's the new sector. You can say it's not such an old sector, where a lot of VC funding has come in. Quite a lot of money has come into different models. One of the models is basically these OPEX models of solar, where the companies are installing solar plants at the factories and industries, and then they charge you at let's say half or 40% of the rate of what we are paying to the discoms, and they make a long-term contract of 25 years. In these places, a lot of money has come in from different places, from different funding houses. There is a climate tech focus because of this net zero mission. Net zero target, for example, for India is 2070, Indian Railways is 2030, and a huge amount of investment is required in this field. So because of the climate tech focus, also a lot of money is coming there. A friend of mine, which he has a company called Aeroseal. It is into a business. It is of closing the ducts of the AC. So a lot of energy is lost when because as the ducts of the ACs they become old, so a lot of energy is lost from there. And he came up he was working with Carrier. He came up with a product which if you put the gas through it, it will block these holes. And now this company has got quite a decent amount of funding from Bill Gates Fund. So that's why, because he believed in his idea. I don't think we have I have time now to explain what all things he went through. But there was a time when he had almost put everything what he had put into the way into his company. So everything was mortgaged, and but he had taken that risk, and today it's an extremely successful company. So innovations in funding, these investments are fueling the development of new technologies and solutions that can drive progress in energy and mobility. Focus is on the emerging markets, obviously, because high risk, high return that's what it is. Local challenges are there, so these regions they present opportunities for startups offering affordable and scalable solutions to address local challenges. Ola Electric is one example which has raised significant funding, and I think it's doing great. They had initial hiccups with their products, and but now I think they have really taken the leap, and they are doing very well in this field. Challenges and opportunities: high capital intensity and long ROI timelines can deter some investors. Regulatory uncertainties are there. The opportunities are the global push towards net zero emission. It's creating a massive market for clean energy and mobility. And I would like to give you some more insights about how different kind of models have come in the last few years, which is like in the solar field also, there are companies have come up as aggregators. So there's a company called Zircle. It's also found by few people which are let's say in the age group of 25 to 30 years. They work for a few years in San Edison and at other places. So they want to become an aggregator. So they don't want to do this installation stuff. They want to do marketing. They want to then onboard companies like ours and other EPC companies, and then they take a guarantee towards the customer that okay, they will take care of the quality and of other things. It's a good business model. Not only one, Zircle, Way Solar, a lot of companies have come in. Another company called AHA Solar, which is now a listed company. It was mainly into project management. So they were doing EPC work. EPC means the project implementation work, which was very close to them. So they made a tool, and now they are the ones who are also driving the national portal for PM Muft Bijli Yojana. And they made this tool which covers everything from starting a survey to managing an inventory to making application to making sure that the payments have come, which is sometimes extremely important for us as EPC, that if we have something like this tool, it's good to have. One of the slides which I was showing you earlier, which with simulations of different types, how your project will be, solar will be working during the summer season, during the winter season, what is the impact of shadow. All this was developed by a company from Bangalore only. It was called Solar Labs. And then it was taken over by an American company, I think, Arca. Amongst the big players, there are companies like Renew Power, which all of you might have heard of. It's doing, it's having projects like where they're signing long-term agreements with industry. So if somebody wants to set up a data center, like CFE wants to set up a data center, they need to also start going using green power. They will make an impact. They will make a tie-up with Renew Power or Oriana or some other companies, and they will acquire land, and the solar setup will be done by them. Renew Power is also an example of how they have done their vertical integration. So Renew Power was basically into the services of providing green energy or providing solar. So they were only running solar parks. But 3 or 4 years back, they started on their journey of production, and now their first few lines are there. And so Renew Power is now one of the biggest among the biggest manufacturer of solar panels in India. Similarly, there are companies like Azure Power, which is into again into parks where they install solar power and they sell it to different companies. There's a company called Amplus Solar, which is a market leader in installing solar on industries, on businesses, on different government buildings on this OPEX model where they're getting paid for all the units which they are supplying. The market opportunity is huge, and definitely addressing a growing market is something which is interesting for the VCs. We should have this proof of concept, which is important because whenever we are going towards the with the startup, we need to have first proof of concept, then we need to scale it up. That's basically most of the things which I wanted to cover in this discussion. We can I can try to switch on my video now so that we can just a second. Okay, sorry about about this stuff. So since I was not able to see most of the people or at least the screen, so I was pretty fast with the presentation part. There's a lot what we can still discuss because the solar has given a rise to not only solar, renewable energy has given rise to a lot of different business models. So some of the companies in India are also coming up with similar Sunrun kind of model. The government of India has provided a lot of funding opportunities. So like I was telling in the beginning that you can install a solar for just 10, 15, 20,000 rupees. There's a big push for EV. Now, lot of some companies which were into solar, they have moved to EV, which seems to them to be the next logical thing. And all these buildings are coming up, and all the societies which are there, their EVs are charged, and different kind of business models are coming up for EV charging also. So you can have subscription-based models, you can have pay-per-use, or you can just it can be done even for free for some cases. That's how things are moving there. The government support is good in this field. That's definitely there, and I would welcome that if people would like to do work on the startup field, then renewable energy and the mobility is a good place to start with. So I'm kind of done with my presentations, and we can just take up any questions.
Karthik sir?
Yes, ma'am. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Nikhil sir, thank you so much. Hope you can hear my voice.
Yeah, I can hear your voice. Yeah.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of you all, a big thanks to Nikhil Shrivastava, CEO and founder, Remember Technologies Private Limited, Gurgaon, India. And he spoke about the topic today, role of entrepreneurship in shaping future of energy and mobility. Sir, thank you so much, first of all, giving every one of us, every participant here, the real-time examples, along with what is the implications of it, and telling everybody the opportunities and challenges about the topic. There are a few questions which has been posted by the participants. So I'll read out for you. So I think we look forward for your answers for it, sir. Can I?
Yeah, please.
Is the first question from Hemalata N. Is there any government scheme which encourages education institutions to install solar panels in Karnataka, especially?
I cannot tell you specifically about Karnataka, but for the government, all government colleges and buildings, in MP, for example, there was a tender held, which was also in this OPEX mode. So the company bid for around, let's say, 3 rupees. That's what the government will be paying them for every unit what they consume from them. And most of the government buildings, the solar in all these medical colleges, engineering colleges, it was installed under the scheme. And particularly for Karnataka, I'm not sure, but there's no central government scheme as such. central government scheme is mainly on the residential part, and there is a big scheme called Kusum, which is for the agriculture. So you can install a 2 megawatt kind of a system there, and and the government will buy the power from you. But
Uh,
maybe it will come up in Karnataka also soon.
yeah. So here's the next question from Ms. Jyoti. Can you mention what sensor under IoT controls and monitors the storage of solar energy?
For in storage of solar energy, the IoT role can be mainly for the batteries. So if you can see what is the performance of the battery, then all these lithium-ion batteries, they're coming with these BMS battery management systems, which give you all the information how the battery performance is there, because it comes with a set. It's a different than lithium than normal lead acid batteries, in which everyone works as an individual. And with IoT, you can get online information about how the performance is ongoing. Otherwise, without the battery in the solar, also the performance of a solar platform can be easily seen using IoT, where all the information is being sent online. And based on that, you can do your cleaning activities. The cleaning cycles for the solar panels can be done accordingly. And now even these drones are playing a lot of role in so integrating drones also with it, so that the cleaning is being done with the help of drones also. Specifically in battery storage, it's mainly to do with the BMS, the battery management system, in which the IoT plays a major role.
Okay. This one more question from Jyoti, and the same question has been asked by even Srinivas Babu as well. If the energy is managed by using 5G technology to have connectivity, is it not impacting environment with respect to radiation, and also is it not impacting the birds?
It's a very difficult question for me to to give a clear answer to it. When we started the 3G, that time this issue was raised. Then being in the telecom field, we faced a lot of problems because we could not install towers at a lot of buildings at places, because there was, and we did quite a lot of tests were defined by institutes, which were carried out to see what is the radiation level of the base stations, and only after that the base stations were put on air. So till that time it was there, but definitely what people observe and say ki the birds have disappeared. I'm not sure whether it is due to radiation, or it could be also due to pollution, or due to noise pollution and people moving everywhere. So as if you'll ask me personally, I would say the answer is no. But more studies needs to be done.
Okay. So we'll end up with two more questions. Like the next question is from Dr. Uma Maheshwari S. What methods have been planned to deploy these electrical EV batteries in futures?
Could you repeat, please?
What methods have been planned to deploy these EV batteries in future?
Um, Means, if I can understand the question right, is that
Mostly, like from the future perspective, she may be asking, what are the future plans to deploy batteries, EV batteries,
so these
from the charging stations?
the EV batteries, one of the main things how the EV line for the smaller size, that is basically two-wheelers, three-wheelers, and even to a certain extent four-wheelers will work. As of now, it seems to be battery swapping seems to be the major alternative. Definitely, batteries will go up. If you would remember, like even for our phones and stuff, a lot of innovation, a lot of work is ongoing in this field. So the charging cycle will definitely come down to maybe 30 minutes or so, and that is how it's gonna be, because this battery swapping is one option. Second is having more and more charging stations, and the time for charging the batteries. It will definitely come down.
Okay. Sir, there is one more question from Mr. Dinesh, and I think it's been equivalent question from Subulakshmi M as well. Can you tell any recent innovation for energy in agriculture?
Energy in agriculture, like not exactly for agriculture, but if I will say a lot of solar has come into the agriculture field also. So all these submersible pumps are now working on solar. So you install these pumps, there's no need to get AC connections there. These pumps they work on solar energy, and they are a huge success, at least in MP, Haryana, and a lot of other places. Then we are also having solars are being installed on top, and below that you can do your farming. So different kind of vegetables and stuff can be used there. These are the innovations which are coming there. Otherwise, if we talk only about agriculture, then maybe the biomass part, the things are being done.
Okay. Sir, I said last question, but still there's one interesting question from Dr. Anita. Is it possible that e-rickshaw can install solar plates on roof of it?
Yeah,
Is
yeah, it
there
is
any such
possible.
plans for the future?
Yeah, definitely it is possible, and I keep wondering why it is not being done. The few reasons is the handling of the e-rickshaw is one of the reasons. Sometimes I see the e-rickshaws are being loaded with bags and stuff. If you install a solar panel there, then you can't use it. But you'll be surprised to know that a lot of yachts which are there in the sea, they install solar on top of their roofs for using it. So technically, there's no problem to use it. Only issue is the handling of it. It should not happen that you install a solar panel and then you're putting bags on it, and then after a few times, because panels are pretty durable, but they can be broken. So
Is there any
it's
company
not.
working on it, sir? It's out of my curiosity, I'm asking. Is there any
It's
such company that is working on
it's
it?
it's pretty easy to implement. Prototype can be made. There's no problem in doing it. But the only thing is the again, like what we were discussing in the presentation, is the market acceptance.
Yes, yes.
So if we are able to take care of it, then definitely it is technically there is no problem to do it.
Yes, sir. Sir, in the interest of time, we will send you other questions from the participants. So please do let us know about your response for that, and we will convey the same to all the participants. And on behalf of ACT, on behalf of St. Francis College, on behalf of the coordinators, members, and all the participants, please accept our gratitude for being here with us and sharing all your experiences with the live experiences and with the realistic examples on the role of entrepreneurship in shaping the future of energy and mobility. Thank you so much, sir, for your time and
Thanks a
your
lot, sir, and
presentation.
thank you, Dr. Pankaj, who also like me had was working in corporate for a very long time. Then she took this decision to move to the academics field, and I think she's doing great there. We were also together in the school times, so I know her from that time. And thanks a lot to all the people who participated in this. Thank you, St. Francis College, for giving me this opportunity. Thanks a lot.
So,
Thank you so much.
thank you, Nikhil. I really feel privileged to have you on board with us today, and it was definitely a delightful session. And the kind of questions which I can see on the chat box, definitely the participant must be on the great advantage that they have directly heard from you, because you are the one who has actually started, and then you're just getting into the same domain. So that is really a lot of learning to all of us. So in the meanwhile, I would really want to compliment you that the kind of work you are doing and the way it has been happening, because I've been following you on the social media as well. I think it is really delightful to see you growing. So all the very best, and on the way, actually Karthik sir has already conveyed our gratitude to you. So again, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Karthik sir. Thank you. Thank you.
So, as Nikhil is already there and some of the participants, I just wanted to call you upon for the reflection. Dinesh B, are you with us? Um, anyway, Nikhil can also be with you before we start the next session.
Yes, ma'am.
Um, can we see you, because I'm unable to see Dinesh? If you're able to.
No, ma'am. Actually, video can
It's
muted by host.
Okay. Can we give him a spotlight, ma'am?
Done. Dinesh, sir, you can switch on your video and talk. Access has been given.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, please let us
I'm
know your
audible, sir.
reflection, sir. Yes, yes,
Yes,
you
we
are.
can hear you and see as well.
Very good afternoon and good evening for one and all, sir. Actually, the nice session where I think about the rural development as well. We have to balance in a case of rural and urban areas. So, Nikhil Shrivastava, sir, given different kind of things regarding the energy. I got good kind of information from this, sir. And thank you one and all. Give me the opportunity regarding to know about some kind of rural development as well. We have to put up some of the techniques and innovative ideas to do something in our own initiative to cultivate in our home itself by adopting the solar energy or by taking some kind of new innovative techniques to build our good life in a better way, sir. Thank you so much for wonderful opportunity and good information I got from this session, sir. Thank you.
So thank you, sir. Next, I would like to call upon Azia ma'am. Are you there with? Can we move to the Hemlata N? Are you there with us? Or maybe I'll invite from the participants if any one of you want to reflect immediately before we move on to the next session for today. So Deepa ma'am, over to you. Maybe we can see. I don't know whether madam has joined. Meenakshi ma'am, over to you ma'am for the next session.
Yes, ma'am, I will check out. But still, no, ma'am.
Okay, because
Meena MB is there.
Ma'am, she might have joined from other name
That is what,
because I
ma'am.
have seen her video switching on.
yeah, I also saw her, but I think some other name
Meenakshi
was
ma'am,
referred.
can you hear us?
Good evening, one and all. I am already there.
Yes,
Okay, I
ma'am.
think
So
Sneha, name Sneha, I think.
okay, so Meenakshi ma'am, I would request kindly change the display name because we are on the recording.
What
And
was that
maybe
name?
we can take a 5 minutes break and revert back. Deepa ma'am, is that okay? How will do?
Yes, ma'am. Fine, ma'am. No issue.
Ma'am, I have changed it.
Sure.
Yeah.
I
So,
have changed it to Dr. Meenakshi.
Yeah.
sure. So I think we can revert back in 5 minutes, all of us, because I can see some of the
Okay.
messages. Get started. Uh, Hemlata ma'am, you want to give your reflection because I can see you are in the spotlight right now. Are you comfortable?
Thank
Okay.
you.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Please go ahead, ma'am.
Yeah, it was a wonderful talk and very informative. Whatever sir, was able to give, and we could get a lot of information regarding the energy, renewable energy resources. Thanks for this particular event. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, ma'am. It is so good to hear from you. I can see Harshita Shetty has raised her hand. Would you like to speak, ma'am?
Good evening, everybody. Am I audible?
Yes, please.
Okay. The session was basically confined towards the role of entrepreneurship in shaping the future of energy and mobility. It was a very interesting session wherein the speaker initially started off in introducing about his own company, Blue Neba Technologies, wherein he spoke on the concept of spreading solar energies by saving 80% of the electricity being the key for every a day-to-day routine. He also told about why solar energy is required in order to bring about the reductions with that of your electricity bills. Energy cost stability could also be possible. Uh, there is a good return on investment that can also be taken care within 4 years of your investments being done. tax advantages being one of the important aspects. Flexibility with that of your financing options can also be availed with that of your solar energy systems being utilized. Then he also spoke about the various components with that of your solar plants, which included with that of your off-grid, on-grid, and hybrid models with that of your solar plants. Then there was an introductions being done with that of your solar energy implementations being done. He spoke on the various startups and innovations. He also told about the urban mobility transformations being done. And the very interesting part with the entire sessions was that battery swapping system which was being developed, which he told about, with the kind of problems being faced by the electrical vehicles at present. The most innovative ways wherein we can cut short with that of your cost being invested with that of your batteries, or might be the ways wherein there is an excessive time which is required in order to charge the batteries. This was one added advantage wherein battery swapping uh, installations can be done with the EV vehicles. That's all about from my end. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you so much, Harshita ma'am. It was so delightful to hear from you, and I'm really happy that all of you, being the participants, are actually paying attention, because this is some of the very, very important areas all of us are looking forward. And being we are in the smart city, so we should be learning from Bangalore, especially, and all the other participants must be from the different big cities. So I think that is really good to hear from you. Over
Thank
to
you,
you,
ma'am.
Deepa ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Can we move on to the next session, ma'am?
Yes, please, ma'am. We are on time.
Fine, ma'am. Thank you once again for Mr. Nikhil sir for your valuable insight on entrepreneurship and its role in shaping the future of energy and mobility. It was actually a truly inspiring session. Now let us move on to the next session. To introduce our next speaker, I would like to invite Dr. Ramya to the virtual stage. Ma'am, over to you.
Good evening, everyone. Is it audible to you?
Yes, ma'am.
Once again, good evening. It is a privilege to introduce our distinguished resource person for today's session, Dr. Meenakshi R. Patil, a visionary academician, researcher, and educational leader with a remarkable career spanning 27 years. Dr. Meenakshi has served in various capacities in the field of education, including 10 years as principal in the prestigious AGM group of institutes and another decade as head of the department in multiple institutions. She has also excelled as a lecturer, bringing passion and dedication to teaching. Her exemplary work has shaped the careers of countless students and faculty members. As a committed researcher, Dr. Meenakshi has supervised the successful completion of 6 PhD theses and is currently mentoring 4 PhD scholars in the field of signal processing and communication. With 63 research publications in esteemed national and international journals and 10 patents to her credit, her contributions to academia and innovation are extraordinary. Her technical expertise spans signal processing, cryptography, digital electronics, computer networks, and MATLAB programming, among others. She has collaborated on impactful projects, including the design of digital trainer kits that enhance laboratory learning. Beyond teaching and research, Dr. Meenakshi has made significant strides in educational leadership. She has been instrumental in setting up technical institutes, establishing service rules for employees, aligning pay structures with regulatory guidelines, and developing laboratory infrastructure and evaluation frameworks. Her leadership has ensured compliance with AICTE, state government, and university protocols, demonstrating her exceptional administrative acumen. A passionate advocate for growth and learning, Dr. Meenakshi organizes leadership training programs for students and faculty and provides guidance on patent drafting and filing, empowering innovators to protect their intellectual property. With a vision to create future leaders and a commitment to education and research, Dr. Meenakshi continues to inspire the academic community. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Meenakshi. Over to you, Deepa ma'am.
Thank you, Dr. Ramya ma'am, for the wonderful introduction. Without further delay, I now invite Dr. Meenakshi ma'am to lead this session and share her valuable insights. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Dr. Ramya Madam, for your nice introduction that you have given about me. And I pay my thanks to San Francis College and Pankaja Madam for inviting me for this session. Thank you very much. Shall I share the screen now?
Yes, ma'am.
Particular screen, is it not possible to share?
Meenakshi ma'am, would you like us to?
It started.
All right.
No,
So
I'll
if
share,
you want,
share the entire
otherwise,
screen. It's the entire screen is visible.
No,
Yes,
ma'am.
now you can go to the PPT.
Meenakshi ma'am, if you
I have
are
my
comfortable, we
slides.
can also run through your PPTs from our end.
Yeah, I think I have shared the link to you.
Yes, I shared the PPT with them. So, Deepa ma'am, it has been shared with all of you.
Yes, ma'am. It
WhatsApp
is
group.
there.
I
Yeah,
have little bit modified the slides, madam. But if
yeah,
you
I have
have the
taken.
link, then the link only
I
from
have
you can
downloaded
share.
1 hour before, ma'am.
1 hour before, then it would be fine.
Okay, so that is the latest one I have.
Okay.
All right, so I think we can do it from our end. I think Deepa ma'am and Ramya ma'am can help us.
Yeah, ma'am. We will share it.
Let me try. I have tried to share. Is it visible? Slides.
No, ma'am. Still not it, but give us 2 minutes time, ma'am. We are updating.
Yes, I am able to see this.
Is it visible, ma'am, now?
Yeah, yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. As we are all ecosystem enablers, we all have to involve in proposing innovative solutions for the benefit of society in a large. Let me start my presentation with this quote of Eckhart Tolle, which tell us to focus on our attention with inner energy fill for providing the creative ideas which will provide the best and innovative solutions. Next, madam. So this is the outline of my presentation. So let us start our discussion with considering the importance of mobility and logistic in the smart cities. Next, let me focus on current challenges in urban mobility and logistics we are facing nowadays. Then we'll see how could we propose various solutions based on advanced technologies which uses artificial intelligence and Internet of Things, and then end up with the integration and implementing these technologies, what challenge that we face. So, next slide, ma'am, please. So, as you were already discussing from last 2 days about mobility, so but I thought I will add a definition of mobility, which tells us about the movement of peoples and goods from one place to the other place, or from job to the other job, or from one social level to another to the another level, maybe across the bridges, which is physical or logical when we transfer the data logically from one place to the other place. Please move ahead. So can we imagine a city with the smooth logistic which you see in this slide in our own country? So probably yes, because we are also adopting many advanced technologies in various fields, like incorporating the IoT and artificial intelligence in traffic management, as well as incorporating these technologies in the vehicles that we use, different sensors. We are putting various locations to sense various traffic conditions as well. So probably it may be yes, but it may take time to bring it into reality because a huge investment is involved in this. And we are gradually proceeding forward towards that. So as smart cities aim to integrate different transportation models into one cohesive system, making use of real data. Cities like Singapore and Amsterdam are already demonstrating what smart logistic and mobility would look like. And the Singapore's integrated public transport system and AI-driven traffic management reduces the congestion significantly. Meanwhile, in Amsterdam's focus on electric logistic vehicles shows a path forward sustainable urban freight systems. So what the smart mobility does affect our day-to-day life? Let's move ahead with the next slide to
Yes.
see that. So this implementation of this mobility and logistic with advanced technology, it enhances our quality of life by efficient mobility systems that we adopt to minimize the traffic jams, which we experience in our day-to-day life in the Bangalore city itself. And if we adopt this kind of advanced traffic systems, that will reduce our time span of traveling and then reduce the stress that we take while traveling. This seamless transport network will ensure equitable access to essential services, such as hospitals will be very accessible to us, the schools will be accessible to the children's, and for the workers, the jobs will be accessible with the less time of span. Optimized routes and smart public transport systems will reduce the emissions, promoting the environmental sustainability as well. Efficient logistics systems streamline supply chains supporting local business and global trade. That will offer the business-friendly environment where innovation can flourish attracting both startups and established corporations. The well-managed transport infrastructure if we install that will draw the companies and investors to come to the cities with advanced infrastructure and reliable connectivity and streamlined services to offer for the public in the large. So it not only attract the companies and improve our lifestyle, but it also boosts the real estate values also. The smart cities serve as breeding grounds for innovation through initiatives like tech incubators, the research centers, and the public-private partnership firms, which where they can create an environment where ideas we can transform into market-ready solutions. The Singapore is renowned for its smart infrastructure and has attracted multinational companies through its digital economy initiatives and tax initiatives. By investing IoT technologies and smart infrastructure, Barcelona reduced operating costs and fostered an innovation ecosystem that drives economic activities. So our cities face move a little bit next points to move to the next points, please. Our cities face significant challenges. Wait, let it be. Our cities face significant challenges, rising pollution levels, resource depletion, and the effects of climate change. By 2015, nearly 70% of the world's population will try to live in urban areas, which will make sustainable urban development still critical. So for that, intelligent transport systems and green logistics has to be improved so that the pollution levels can be controlled. Copenhagen, the capital of Denmark, is known for its commitment to becoming first carbon neutral city by 2025. They have integrated renewable energy and sustainable transport and green infrastructure in their city. The smart grids and electrical transports will reduce energy consumptions. We can minimize the resource wastage through predictive maintenance and route optimization. AI-driven traffic systems analyze the traffic patterns to predict and then regulate traffic flow, reducing congestion and the likelihood of collisions. Features like automatic braking, the lane departure warnings, and collision alerts can reduce the human errors that occurs while driving, which will account for most accidents. Accidents happens nearby to our homes also. We can make utilization of the sensors that can detect the potential faults in the vehicles and infrastructure, preventing the accidents that are caused by mechanical failures. Then faster and more efficient responses through real-time traffic data, real-time traffic data integrated systems, which will automatically alert emergency services about accidents or medical emergencies, which will allow them to reach quickly to the venues or the scenes where the incident has been taken place. The mobile apps and digital displays inform citizens of emergencies so that they guide them to take up the safety route. IoT enhanced tracking ensures the safe movement of the goods as well. System can also offer the smart mobility, which use IoT sensors to collect data for better infrastructure planning and policy making. Sensors detect accidents, congestion, or hazards, allowing authorities to respond quickly and allocate the resources effectively. For an example, in the cities like Barcelona, IoT-enabled parking systems are adopted, which guide the drivers to available spots, where reducing the traffic congestion. Artificial intelligence helps anticipate future mobility needs, enabling proactive solutions, predicting peak travel times, future traffic bottlenecks, and public transport demand, which help authorities to plan accordingly. Predictive analytics identify potential infrastructure failures before they could happen, reducing the downtime and uh, hence enhancing the safety of the travelers. Singapore is one of the best smart city, those who have adopted many AI-driven technologies. Their AI model predict the daily transport demand, adjusting the bus and train schedules to match passenger needs. System can adapt to changing conditions, ensuring flexible and resilient urban mobility. This dynamic adjustment of route allocation and all can be done by different sensors that are connected through the IoT devices. These adaptive traffic signals, they adjust based on the current congestion levels, ensuring the smoother traffic flow. Dynamic scheduling will allow the buses or trains to reroute according to the frequencies, and they can adjust based on the real passenger data. Even during the accidents or the natural disasters, if they take place on the routes, the vehicles can be dynamically reallocated, recalculated, and rescheduled, and the pathways can be rescheduled and rerouted. The Los Angeles uses the real-time traffic data to dynamically control the traffic light, reducing congestion and improving the travel time. This technology enabled transportation for people with will also help and is more accessible to the personalities with disabilities as well as for the low-income communities. Smart technologies help design barrier-free transit system by adapting the infrastructure such as the ramps or tactile paving, voice-guided applications, and real-time information systems which display about the transportation which is accessible to the people with disabilities. Further, the subsidized or tiered pricing models supported by data-driven policies ensure the low-income communities affordable and reliable transportation. This
Meenakshi ma'am, please unmute yourself, ma'am.
Whether I lost the connection?
Yes, ma'am.
Am I audible still?
Yes, ma'am. Now you are audible. Meenakshi ma'am.
Your voice is not reachable to me properly. So shall I try to share the screen again? That would be more better to control, I think. We'll try to share.
Actually, you Shall I change the slide, ma'am? Or you can share, ma'am. Shall I stop share? Ma'am, you are not audible, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Meenakshi, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Right. Fine.
Okay. Thank you so much. Whether my connection is a problem or what, I'm not
Yes, ma'am.
understanding.
Yes, ma'am. You are not audible, ma'am. That's what. Fine, ma'am. Right now, fine.
Okay. Singapore's smart transport plan includes infrastructure for autonomous vehicles, preparing the city for future mobility trends. So, what are the current challenges in urban mobility and logistics? Even though we have implemented the advanced technologies that to solve the issues like traffic congestion and the public transport systems and last mile delivery issues. So urbanization and this increased vehicle ownerships have led this severe traffic congestion in the cities worldwide. You can see these some of the peaks which I have added it for the Bangalore itself. Though we have also adopted the AI-driven traffic signals. There are a lot many vehicles are there on the road. Even though we have the AI-driven traffic control system, it is not possible to manage, schedule the vehicles to flow smoothly. And because of that, this kind of situation will arise on the main roads many a times. So if I consider the key statistics for a Bangalore city itself, if I'm traveling from H1 to some IT industry in electronic city, probably it may take 1 hour of time. So if I consider 2 hours of time to travel the worker from H1 to electricity, he may be losing an average of 150 hours manually in the traffic itself. That will impact on economic productivity, environmental health, as well as our own health and the quality of our life. So what are the causes behind this and that make us to experience this all? The inadequate infrastructure that we have to support this growing population that is coming towards these urban cities, and the mindset of the people, those who are living in these urban cities, is car-centric. And there is the insufficient use of the technology to manage this traffic flow. So the solutions which we can propose is we are using recently there's metros, and the frequency of metros is also increased. There are lot many KSRTC buses which provide the public transport. Even then, we see that hardly 15 to 20% of workers, they can utilize this public transport and go through this public transport. So we have the insufficient public transport. If we could able to increase this public transport, then we may tackle this traffic congestion problem. So for that, what the solution we can suggest is there should be the increase of underground tunnels that we can add, and then as the parallel roads are going on, the increase of roads can be suggested, which can then reroute the vehicles which are moving on the roads. We can dynamically control the movement of the vehicles. That is how we can tackle these problems. So when this last mile delivery issue is the most crucial issue that we come across because nowadays this online marketing has increased so much that we require that things to be delivered on our doorsteps. But we can see that this last mile delivery accounts for 20% of delay due to the traffic congestion, and hence the cost also increases the delivery cost of this items. These urban areas, most of these urban areas experience more than 20% of failed or delayed deliveries due to this traffic congestion or inadequate infrastructure that they have, the vehicles that they are using, or the loading and unloading of this um, goods that they are doing it in the vehicles, which will strain on the small businesses. They are trying to meet these delivery demands. So what are the possible solutions for this is that we can make use of the alternative delivery methods, that we can make use of electric bikes, or we can make use of the drones, or we can make use of the autonomous vehicles, which can then deliver these goods at the various locations. Ma'am, please go ahead to the next slide. Now, coming to the role of this advanced technologies, that is AI and IoT in the smart mobility solutions, the main concern of us in the smart cities is the traffic management. The AI-powered predictive analytics can optimize the traffic flow by analyzing the real-time and the historical data. Lot more historical data is already available. We can compare that historical data with the real-time data on the road, and we can control the traffic flow. But for that hassle-free traffic flow, the number of vehicles that we use, that is also required to be reduced, because we see nowadays that so many vehicles on the road, a single person using one separate car for his travel, and hence more than 70% of the personalities, they are utilizing their, depending on their own private vehicles to move from one place to the other place, hence increasing the traffic on the roads. So this IoT-enabled sensors at intersections with which will monitor these conditions and adjust the traffic lights and guide the vehicles to move dynamically. They can reroute the vehicles from the different roads. That is already enabled in our city as well. While driving, we can also experience that. We have to optimize the public transportation also, as AI can predict the demand patterns and optimize and schedule and reroute the buses and the trains that are moving. So for that, there can be the separate lanes. So the separate lanes should be provided for the public transport facilities. Then these IoT devices in vehicles can enable the real-time tracking of these vehicles, and improve the services that are offered through this. We can make use of the shared mobility to move to reduce the congestion on the congestion of traffic. We can share the cars. We can make use of the ride hailing on micro mobility like e-scooters and bike, which uses the AI for demand supply matching and dynamic pricing. We have the car sharing options, which provide the dynamic pricing that is offered by Ola, Uber. We can book for sharing cars also there, and reduce the number of cars or the vehicles that move on the road. IoT integrates the vehicles in city-wise and it will be tracking the various vehicles and using the data from that vehicles. So all these IoT enabled vehicles continuously sending some data, and that data will be collected by the companies that are providing that service. So we are large of the data that is shared with the various public offering companies and all. So for that, it is required that we should the data should be handled securely. The AI algorithms process the data from IoT sensors to navigate self-driving cars safely and efficiently. Now, most of the cars nowadays, with the recent cars that are manufactured and are the adopting the autonomous vehicle structure. They are having the advanced facilities incorporated in it. In our own country, the autonomous self-driving cars are introduced. The Tata Elxsi is one of the car which is having the self-driving facility, and nowadays almost all companies providing the advanced driving facilities with it. Uh, Next slide, please. This smart mobility offers the movement of peoples and goods with zero accidents, with zero carbon footprints and zero stress levels, as they communicate with each other. It is required that in advanced version of AI-enabled mobility that we can establish the connection between the vehicles to vehicles or from vehicles to the different infrastructure elements like public traffic signals or the other sensors which are used for detecting the hazardous situations. By adopting that, we can reduce all these factors. Kindly move forward, madam. Move forward, madam. So you can see in this pic itself, I have shown how these vehicles can be connected to each other, and they can detect the distance between the two vehicles those who are moving on the road, and they can maintain.
Meenakshi ma'am, it looks like we are losing your voice. I think she is not on board.
It is muted.
Yes, ma'am.
I don't know why this frequently communication. Is it disconnecting from my end or what?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, go back to the previous slide. I have Wi-Fi connected.
It's been clear, ma'am.
This.
From this slide only it started actually your voice.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I finished the previous one. This positioning of the vehicles and the communication between the vehicles, this kind of services can be offered by adopting these advanced technologies, which will be based on the locations. So we can make the connections between one location to the one vehicle to the other vehicle, or from vehicle to the infrastructure, or from a vehicle to the other elements which are used for detecting the hazardous situations or providing the different services. For this, we require geodetic infrastructure to adopting this. You can move ahead to the next slide.
Yes.
So that was about the smart mobility. When smart logistic and supply chain to improve, we need to adopt this IoT connected delivery drones and robots that will enable the contactless delivery customers. And by adopting the AI technology, the routes can be optimized, and the cost of delivery can be reduced, and the speed of delivery can be increased. These AI-enabled systems can be adopted in warehouses as well, where we use the IoT sensors, which track the conditions like temperatures or humidity in the warehouses, and then accordingly control the parameters also, so that it will not affect the quality of the goods that are stored in the warehouses. We can also make use of the autonomous guided vehicles to navigate effectively between the different warehouses, which will reduce the manual labors. The AI-enabled fleet management tools we can use to monitor the fuel uses of the vehicles that are used, or the schedule of the goods that are stored in the warehouses, or the maintenance schedule.
Meenakshi ma'am? Ma'am?
As it is muting as well whenever I am losing the connection.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, yes. Go ahead, ma'am.
Sorry for so much disruption.
It's okay, ma'am.
Although I have connected to the ACT broadband connectivity, I don't know why this is happening.
We are there to support you, ma'am. You carry on, ma'am. No issue.
Let me go to the next slide now. Elaborating more on this autonomous vehicles, which utilizes self-driving cars. So on my discussion, I'll elaborate more on this autonomous vehicles, because driving by human beings will be found with more dangerous, as it leads to countless deaths over the years worldwide. As per the WHO's data, in the traffic crashes, near about 1.19 million fatalities will lose their lives. So if I take into consideration
Ma'am? Meenakshi ma'am? Ma'am, you are muted, ma'am. Can you please unmute, ma'am? Meenakshi ma'am, you are muted. Please unmute, ma'am.
I'm not able to listen the sound as well. Okay. So I have collected the data.
Meenakshi ma'am, your voice is not audible.
Yeah, wait.
Yes, fine. Yeah.
Oh. So the data for our country that I have collected from this Professor Tiwari from IIT Delhi, who has generated a project report and analyzed the different statistics about the persons that are hampered due to this traffic crashes in India. This is in the year of 2021. 1,55,622 persons were killed and 3,71,884 were injured in the road traffic. You can see here that from 1970 to 2021, the number of deaths, the rate of death due to this traffic is increased and is not at all reduced yet. I will give another example where the accidents will happen most of the time nearby to our homes also. So I want to just click this video. If you could able to run this video, just observe this video. And what you can understand from this video, let us discuss about it. I think you have downloaded and playing, or you are playing from this Google slide, madam?
Sir, ma'am, we downloaded and we have actually showing, ma'am.
So I don't think you will be able to play anyhow.
Yes.
I will tell the summary of in this video. This is one of the most viral video from the city of Kolhapur in Maharashtra, wherein this car has rammed in the multiple vehicles on the road and killed almost 5 to 6 personalities on the road. When we observe that, we feel that the driver is so careless to drive and ramp in on the road, this road for fast lane. Whereas this has happened because the driver, while driving the car, has met with an heart attack, and he lost his life actually at that time when he met with the heart attack, and his leg has been that car has been drove fastly and ramped into on the road, and because of that, this accident has been taken place. If such kind of conditions occurs, which are uncontrollable on the road, that can also be controlled if we adopt the driverless cars, wherein these different sensors we can make use of, which can check whether the driver is alert or not, and we can adopt the immediate braking systems which will stop the vehicles and avoid such kind of incidences. We can move to the next slide. So we can see the rapid growth in this autonomous vehicle developments. And initially, when we were small, when if I consider the level 0 of assistance, when no assistance means driver was alert to drive, his entire focus was on the road, and even initial stages, the number of vehicles were very less on the roads. The number of vehicles are increased, so there was a need to provide assistance to the drivers. And then we started on giving the longitudinal and transversal guide to the drivers, which with the help of that, they have taken the efficient routes and they started moving on the routes. Then the need of controlling the traffic has been arised, and therefore the traffic control rules have been adopted along with this longitudinal and traverse guide. Even with that, this kind of partial automation, we could not able to avoid many situations on the road. So the request has been came to add in the automation. So conditional automation has been incorporated in the vehicles, wherein all the sensors will work simultaneously, and there is no need of the driver to control the vehicle, and the vehicle itself will take a route and move along the path. Whereas we can provide a facility where if we require to take over the other vehicle, we can keep on the takeover request and take our vehicle aside with the request. Driver has to take over at that time, and he can drive. With the level 4 facility of automation, no takeover request will be required in these cases, then we can provide the driver sometimes the control, but the vehicle is capable of performing all the driving functionalities and move on the path, even taking up, if sometimes if it is required to take over also, it can take over on its own. With the full automation performing, the cars will automatically adjust the speed, controlling controlling the speed of the cars by checking the other vehicles moving on the road, controlling its speed according to the speed of the other vehicles, according to the number of vehicles on the road. Also, that all the decisions will be taken care with the help of this AI-enabled real-time data. But we can also provide the facility for the driver anytime to control that can be optional and that can be given to the autonomous vehicles as for the for this fully automated vehicles. There are the advancements in automotive vehicles are required to be added further. So as this driverless technology is evolving rapidly, this high definition GIS data enabling components can be used to improve the localization of the vehicles and then tracking the vehicles, tracking their locations, and if any hazardous situation occurs, then providing the services on the road and providing the safety to the vehicles and the passengers inside. So for that, doing this all tasks, huge amount of GIS data that we need to access, which is already available. But the question is, how would we access that? And how would we make the communication between the vehicle to vehicle or from vehicle to the other elements? So that is a more tedious task and that has to be handled very efficiently. So for that, the high-speed processors are required to be installed or incorporated in the vehicles as well. And we have to make use of the cloud data to rely on for the high-speed communications. Crowdsourcing will be the dominant data acquisition technology that is there in a question where we can make use of big data or big geodata for this. The various platforms or the sensors that we can use for adopting this smart mobility and logistics. The platforms can be the airborne platforms, or the platforms can be land-based platforms, or even if it requires sometimes underwater also the mobility is required. So the different sensors are required for all of these transportations or mobilities. The airborne, you can see here, we can make utilization of UAV vehicles or UAS vehicles or helicopters or the drones for the mobility of maybe the goods, or sometimes helicopters for moving the peoples from one place to the other place. For the land-based, indoor and outdoor transportation can be done with the vehicles or autonomous vehicles or the push carts for the indoor transportation or the assisted disabled personalities can be provided with the advanced technology so that voice assistive methods can be provided to them so that they can move hassle-free in the public areas. So the different sensors we can make use of for that, where we may have to use the navigational sensors or RF-based sensors. For passive imaging, we need imaging sensors. We may, in autonomous vehicles, most of the times, the radar sensors or LiDAR sensors, sonar sensors or SAR sensors are used in autonomous vehicles to detect the other vehicles or the other obstacles in between. So move ahead to the next slide. When we consider the IoT in automotives, in automotive vehicle, different sensors are installed, which will measure the pressure and the weight of the goods that are loaded in the system. It can analyze the movement of the vehicles that are moving that nearby, as well as the speed of the own vehicle which is moving. It can optimize the route as well. If we adopt the dynamic routing, it can diagnose on both the routes, as well as if suppose it can check the pressure of the tires, what is there. It can check the vehicle fuel as well. It can check the cargo health and monitor that. It can track the asset which is there. That it can take temperature, humidity inside the sensor, inside the vehicle as well. Move ahead to the next slide, please. This autonomous driving commonly uses the sensors that are ultrasonic sensors or radar or LiDAR sensors or cameras, as I said, IR sensors, GPS, or odometry sensors, which will sense the different conditions in the car, like what is the distance of the other car moving on the road, that can be sensed by the LiDAR sensors or the radar sensors. Cameras are used to check out which can check the traffic lights as well. IR sensors are there. GPS is there. GPS is used to communicate with the to communicate communicate and get the navigation support, as well as if they want the entertainment, they can get through the GPS. This predictive analytics can provide provide the analysis in case of possible failures for the components. It can predict the health of the components that are used in the vehicles, if whether they require the maintenance, whether they require the different parts of the vehicles, whether they requires the service. That kind of all analysis can be done using the predictive analysis. With the help of fleet management, we can track the vehicle where it is moving, and accordingly we can manage. If any other situation occurs, we can immediately apply, automatically brakes can be applied. We can check the engine health, we can check the fuel levels, we can check the tire pressures, we can check the acceleration to identify whether the driver is driving unsafely, and accordingly we can intimate the driver to control the speed also. Then we can also provide the in-vehicle entertainment services, where the vehicles will be connected with the audio visual information to be played there. The calls can be connected where hands-free calls can be connected and can be taken in there. Then based on the predictive analysis and the way the driver is driving the car, what is the driving pattern of driver who is driving this kind of advanced automotive cars. Based on that, the insurance companies can quote the insurance to that particular vehicle. If the more unsafe driving, then the premium of the insurance will be more. If the driver is driving a safe car, then the insurance will be lower. So if that kind of facilities, if we adopt in, then drivers also will take care of whenever they drive their cars. or drive their vehicles. This kind of automations, when we adopt in the vehicles, then the softwares can also be updated automatically in the vehicle. The vendors can update their softwares and upload their softwares on the clouds, and the user can download anytime from the cloud and update the software. Sometimes update facility can also be provided to this different features that we use in the vehicle. In this peak, you can see this one of the advanced driver assisting technology is adopted in this one of the car, which uses the multiple sensors that are controlled using IoT and artificial intelligence. So the different sensors that are used in this car are the long range radar sensors, the LiDAR sensors, the cameras are also, and short medium range radar sensors are there. You can see here, based on the colors, which sensor is used, what the LiDAR sensor uses for. The LiDAR sensors uses for considering the environmental mapping, blind spot detection. For that, the LiDAR sensor will be used. And then these long range radar sensors, they are used for considering in the adaptive control of the vehicle, where it can detect the obstacle if it is appearing in between and avoid the collisions and apply the emergency braking system. And also this LiDAR sensor will assist in during the parking by observing the surrounding views. The cameras will be placed for observing the rear view of the vehicle, or the side view, or the front view of the vehicles. We can make use of this, and we can control these cars. But whenever we are adopting all these kind of sensors and controlling it with these IoTs or AI, there's a lot of challenges whenever we control that adaptively. What we need to identify and adjust accordingly is, kindly move to the next slide, ma'am, please. We need to identify the different vehicles that are moving on the road and how far distance they are there. So the large data is required to be analyzed by these devices or these processes that are used. And based on that large data, that it has to predict the speed or the movement of the other vehicles that are moving. And based on that, he has to calculate that at what distance, safe distance that the vehicle has to keep in, and accordingly adaptively adjust the speed of the car. In that way, it can provide the assistance to the driver. And if the driver is not alert much, and if the vehicle detects that with the speed the driver is moving, he or she may hit the other car or the obstacle which is coming in front, then it can automatically apply the braking system so that the vehicle will stop immediately. Another task that the software has to do is, it has to not only track the vehicle, along with the vehicles, that it has to track the other moving objects also, which are there. Maybe the persons moving on the bicycles, or they may be walking on the streets. Suddenly, sometimes some of the moving objects come in between on the path. That also it should be capable of. So to take such kind of decisions, the responsive system should be so fast that within the fraction of seconds, it should apply the immediate or the emergency brakes. So when we are enhancing this our urban planning for the hassle-free mobility of the mobility and the logistic, we may have to make use of the dynamic parking management system, which is the often by making use of the IoT sensors or making use of AI. AI predictive analysis. So AI IoT sensors in the parking lots will provide the real-time availability of the slots which are available there, and the AI model will predict the demand, peak demand of the vehicles where the parking slot is available, and based on the peak demand, it can adjust the dynamic pricing of the parking slots, which in terms it will reduce the traffic. Uh, in turn, it will reduce the traffic. So for smart traffic signage, the digital signs can be added on, which will be powered by this AI or IoT deliver context, which will provide the services such as accident alerts or divergence, or it can also give the weather related updates, so that based on the future weather conditions where we are planning to move, based on that we can take decisions, and accordingly we can change our plans. The AI models simulate the impact of new policies that will offer the different paths for the bikes, different paths for the private, public transport vehicles, and the different paths for the private vehicles, private vehicles. And then during the congestion, if anyone is moving aside from one lane to the other lane, then the fines can be put on such of the vehicles, and then this kind of congestion pricing should be put on the vehicle, so that then the people will be responsive and the situation of traffic congestion may appear. Then we can make use of the IoT-enabled electric vehicles, and for that, we have to provide the charging stations at various locations, which will optimize the power distribution to this as well, and because which will be a sustainable solution for us and reducing the carbon emission as well. When we integrate and implement these advanced technologies in the smart cities, so our life may become the hassle-free movement. Life will be what I can say this. We can move efficiently on the paths as well. So if you want to take into consideration the for the as a case study, we can look towards the Zurich city, which is considered as the smartest city, those who have incorporated many artificial intelligence and IoT-based solutions, and have most of the hassle-free mobility and logistic solutions they have. And then the next is the Singapore is another smartest city. We can see as to consider it as our role model to incorporate these AI-powered solutions for our airport solutions for our mobility and logistics. Madam, move to the next slides. Next to this. We have already incorporated this AI-powered traffic systems. The Sikkim is the one of the first city who has incorporated the AI-powered traffic. And then The largest route that is covered with the AI traffic is by Mumbai-Pune Express Highway, where they have incorporated this AI powered traffic. And immediately after incorporating this AI powered traffic, the congestion has been, the city has observed the congestion on the same route, because in our country there are lot many vehicles are there on the roads, those who are moving. Because of that, even though we are adopting the AI powered traffic system, we are not able to control the hassle free movement of the vehicles. As we experienced that in some of the Bangalore stations, we have adopted this Bangalore adaptive traffic control systems are installed for the first stage. This 60 stations we have already installed, and they are upgrading to 165 signals. But even after incorporating, we are not much comfortable to move along the roads safely here. Madam, please move ahead. What are the challenges and considerations that we have to take into, we have to look forward when we adopt this advanced technologies, as these AI and IoT enabled systems collect lot of data day to day whenever we travel or moving from one location to other location. We are providing our personal data, our operational data to them, which in turn requires the robust cybersecurity measures to be adopted. So governments are putting putting more constraints and taking into consideration this cybersecurity measures to ensure seamless integration among these different IoT devices different platforms and this different city services is very critical because the way the vehicles are moving on the road in our country are not that efficient as it is expected to be to incorporate this advanced technologies, because we hardly follow the rules when we are moving on. Deploying and maintaining these IoT networks and AI systems can be expensive for us, because we have to improve our infrastructure. If we want to make it to work efficiently, we have to increase the number of roads, we have to increase the number of pathways, we have to increase the number of private public transports. We have to put forward the strategic plans for establishing the public-private partnership firms to incorporate many of the advanced technologies for this. You can click video. If we could run this, you can see how we can visualize the future transformation with transportation that can take place. This which may be the air based, with if we increase the number of roads, if we increase the public transport as well, if we could able to connect the different vehicles, we can able to establish vehicle to vehicle connection, we could able to establish V2X connection efficiently, then the future transportation will be hassle free. We are moving forward towards that. We all citizens, we should contribute to that. We have to look forward of providing this instead of providing our responsibility, looking forward for our responsibility or our roles as well. So for that, it is required that the number of vehicles that are there on the road has to be reduced. So avoid one car, one person, and make use of one car and multiple persons to move on the road, one vehicle, multiple persons. Try to utilize maximum public transport. For that, we are heading towards for increasing the public transport facilities. We can make use of effective use of public transport facilities as well. The future possibilities are the AI could predict the infrastructure straight points such as the bridge, which is load, which has maximum load capacity. There are maximum number of vehicles moving on. Based on that, if it requires the maintenance, whether any disruptions are there, whether possibility of other solution is there, whether the is it so that we can avoid the disruptions of the bridges which are nearby on the road, that can also be predicted by incorporating the green initiatives that our logistic and in transportation, we can reduce the carbon emissions. And these AI-powered chatbots and apps that we use for the real-time mobility will be the will become the citizen-centric innovation for us. We will have to, as I said, that we will have to make use of the public transports, where the alternate routes or public transit options can be given for the persons, those who are moving from one place to other. So if they are using multiple public transports, there should be connections between the multiple transport. Suppose one person is moving from the metro station, then the connectivity from the metro station to the other public transport facility like buses should also be effectively available, so that person can move from one place to the other place hassle-free. So to conclude with the key takeaways from this talk, I can concentrate on, I can elaborate on is the AI and IoT is the game changer in our life. These technologies will enhance the urban logistic by optimizing this traffic management, streamlining the deliveries, and reducing the operational cost. Integrated AI and IoT solutions will create the connected and efficient and sustainable environments, improving the transportation and quality of life. The continuous innovations are required, which will provide the better solutions. Better solutions. So the cooperation is needed between the governments and different vendors, different business communities as well, to implant or implement this kind of scalable solutions. The smart logistic will reduce the emissions and resource uses, contributing to greener and more reliable cities. So investing in technology and fostering partnership today will pave the way for tomorrow's smart urban ecosystem. So let us put our hands together towards this smart movement. So thank you very much for providing me opportunity. These are some of the references that I have used to prepare my presentation today.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your detailed presentation on leveraging AI and IoT for smart mobility and logistics. Ma'am, we have some of the questions from the participant. I'll read
Okay,
out
sir.
for you. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Here's the first question from one of our participants, Arshita Shetty. What do you think? How can smart cities integrate public, private, and shared transportation modes to create seamless and efficient mobility experience in countries like India?
So as I said in the talk also, the public and private transportation, we need to increase the public transportation, and when we are using the private transportations, at that time, instead of so instead of using a single person one taxi booking, we can make use of shared taxis which are available, this private taxis, or the government can put hands with the private companies to increase the infrastructure for public transportation, so that most of the public can make utilization of this public transportation. So we can increase the number of roads with partnership with the private companies, increase the tunnel roads, increase the number of metros that are moving. We see nowadays in Bangalore city itself, from Whitefield to this Majestic or other location, the number of metrotrons and the frequency has been increased. Within 5 minutes, we get another train available there. But in then, we are not able to control the people's thought who are going. There is a lot of rush we observe there. So if we could able to increase these facilities with the help of partnering with the public, private firms, I think we can move forward towards the hassle-free transportation. So we have to increase the infrastructure. That is the basic need today, because the large of the publics are coming towards these urban cities. And to meet that needs, it is required that we have to improve the infrastructure as well.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, we have next question from Dr. Guru Prasad 5B. What role can data analytics and IoT sensors play in improving the efficiency and sustainability of urban logistics system?
As I said that the talk itself that I have added different sensors that we use. So now in our country that we have not yet established vehicle-to-vehicle connections. So the using GPS or Wi-Fi cellular networks, we can establish the connections between vehicles to vehicles, so that the vehicles, those who are moving, can uh, predict the speed of the other vehicle which is moving online, moving on the same route, and dynamically adjust the speed of the cars. So when we dynamically adjust the speed of the car and keep the proper distance, probably the congestion may not take place. So this kind of situation now at present it is possible on the highways, but it's not possible in the urban cities. Because in urban cities there are so many vehicles are moving on the line. They're so attached to each other. Even if we detect also, we are not able to maintain the distance in between. So for that, infrastructure development is a need today.
Ma'am, we have the next question from Jyoti. She wants to know which is the best routing protocol that is supporting the IoT connectivity.
I think based on dynamic routing only, dynamic routing can be adopted. Any protocol which supports dynamic routing.
We have next question.
I have
from
not
Dr.
worked much on the protocol level. I have not worked much in this field of mobility.
Okay.
So I can suggest only the one protocol which adopts the dynamic movement that can be well suited.
Ma'am, we have a question from Dr. Anita. Do you agree that radiation waves generates due to network will harm environment? Will it be considered as sustainable method?
Pardon me, sir. I am not able to listen.
Yeah. Do you agree that radiation waves generates due to network will harm the environment? Like, will it be a sustainable method to use? I think she meant to say radiation waves. Yeah, okay.
We see this autonomous vehicle, whatever the waves that are generated, it is not for the longer distance, and it is outside the vehicle. So vehicle to vehicle that the waves will be passed. So probably it may not affect the humans as much. But whereas these waves which are generated are only for the shorter duration. So the number of waves will be increased only if we are connecting the GPS, using GPS 5G networks and all. So, but when vehicle to vehicle we are making use of connection, that time number of waves generated will be very less. So more advanced technologies if we adopt, I think we will be providing the sustainable environment.
Ma'am, two more questions I'll take considering the time aspect. There's a question from Mr. Dinesh. IoT and AI is working during that. Will the AI work during the time of winter and rainy season? Because he says many of the natural uncertainties may not recognize the sensor to track the system.
No, sir. Now the technology is so advanced that that will not affect the seasons will not affect with the sensors. So I don't know whether you people have seen the vehicles nowadays, the new cars which are automotive cars which have came in the market. In any kind of situations, if we keep the vehicle on ADAS mode, it will all the decisions it will take on its own. It will identify the vehicles, it will adjust the speed, it will move on the roads. Only thing is that it is following the line, that the line following vehicles, it is following the lines, but even in rainy seasons and all that decisions it is capable of taking it.
Okay, ma'am, is the last question that I'll stop with. How will this is a question from Ms. Neha M. How will PPP model help implementation? Because smart cities initiatives have already begun, but are midway, but we don't see any progress in many of the cases.
Therefore, we can provide this different parking assistance we can provide with the help of triple P model. We can provide the disaster management. We can provide with the help of this triple P model for improving this our infrastructure.
Yeah. Ma'am, thank you so much answering the questions. There are a few more questions left, but dear participants, we will send all your questions to Dr. Meenakshi Patil, and she will be answering your queries, which is posted in the chat. Considering the time, and still we have to take reflections from the participants as well. Before that, before we take the reflections, Dr. Meenakshi ma'am, on behalf of
Yes, sir.
everybody, on behalf of ACT, St. Francis College, all the participants and us coordinators, thank you so much for your presence and enlightening everybody with the real-time examples of AI used places and what can be done and what is already used. Thank you so much for your presentations on leveraging AI and IoT for smart mobility and logistics. On behalf of everybody, please accept our gratitude for sharing your insightful sessions with everybody. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you so much, sir.
So, thank you so much, Meenakshi ma'am. It's always been wonderful to work with you, collaborate with you, and we are really delightful to have you on board today with us. And I'm sure the kind of questions which like all the participants were posting were amazing. So I'm hoping that it has been of the fruitful for everyone, for you, for us, and for the participants. So thank you very much, ma'am.
Pankaj ma'am, if you don't mind, can you ask Meenakshi ma'am to switch on the video to have one snapshot?
Oh,
Yes,
yeah.
I
I'll
was
switch
about
on. I'll
to
switch
check
on.
that with ma'am. Yes, you're right. Absolutely
Yes,
right,
yes.
Deepa ma'am. Meenakshi ma'am, so
I
so
don't know whether the light is affecting, I think.
It's okay.
yeah, so trying ma'am because the report has to go. So that's the reason I think Deepa ma'am
Yeah.
is trying.
Yes,
Yes.
ma'am.
Yes.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you
So
so much
as you
for giving me this
yes,
kind
ma'am.
of opportunity. It is a nice opportunity. Nice questions came forward. My knowledge has been increased with this. Thank you so much.
Sure, ma'am. Thank you so much.
I
So
heard
now,
that wonderful session from Nikhil also.
oh yes, I'm glad that you were there
పాల
with
ప్యాకెట్
us.
రెండు పెరుగు ప్యాకెట్
Okay, so now it's time for the reflection. Quickly, I will be calling on Dr. Anand Dwivedi, sir. Are you there with us? Sneha M. V.
Good
Aruna
evening.
Kumari. Who's that? Oh, please carry on.
Yeah, my name is Azia. Well, yes, with this session, I've learned, more about again AI integrated along with IoT to for again that is to control traffic. Again, it's been incorporated in Delhi. Again, it's been they are planning to incorporate in Bangalore. So I think all these are new concepts for me. Again, new learnings for me, which has actually helped me out. So thanks to you, and this is what I overall had learned from this.
Thank you so much, Azia ma'am. Thank you so much. Anyone else would like to have a quick reflection?
Can I talk few words, ma'am?
Yes, please.
Yes, ma'am. Thanks to Meenakshi, ma'am. Actually, we have a good AI and we have a different protocol to control the Bangalore traffic as of now. I'll just tell you one of the example where we are using a triple P model to control different kind of traffic system near the Whitefield and whatever the Kundanalli gate areas and all, ma'am, because a highly traffic area in that. So that was the biggest task of the traffic police, where they are using AI and they are controlling different traffic. And most of the time, we are going to use the different kind of AI to track the first of all the vehicle, ma'am. So that was the biggest task to the people where they are recognize the whatever the things. Thank you so much. We got a good information from you to track different kind of things to know about the traffic system and all. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you, organizers.
So thank you, Dinesh sir. So I think we are good for today. Karthik sir,
Yes,
over to
ma'am.
you.
Yeah.
We have dynamic routing also adopted in Bangalore, but even then we are not able to control traffic congestion.
Hello. Good evening, madam. Hello,
Yes.
good evening, madam.
Mr. Rajkumar, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, please, sir. Please go ahead.
Sir, today's session is very, very nice, sir. Compare with the day before and all the thing. The Meenakshi madam, they'll given that vast detail about how the IoT we are used for that. Then how the smart cities, it will be well planned and all the things, sir. Once it will be implemented for the all the upcoming smart cities, we can avoid accident, and then most probably the traffic congestion we can control, sir. It's a nice presentation, and then thank you for the organizers, sir. So you are tireless work for the past 3 days and all, I think. So thank you once again, sir. I'm Professor Rajkumar from JNN Institute of Engineering, Chennai, sir.
Thank you so
Thank you
much,
so much,
sir.
Rajkumar, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Dear audience and participants, sharp 9 o'clock. It's the time that we close the session. And on behalf of St. Francis College AACTE, on behalf of the coordinators, thanks to both the speakers of today, Mr. Nikhil Shrivastava, CEO and founder, and Dr. Meenakshi Patil, Professor CMR IT Bangalore, on the respective topics that you have enlightened all the participants. Thank you so much, both the speakers, for enlightening all the participants. I can still see the participants 167 are online. Thanks to all of you, because without you, we cannot host these sessions. Thanks for utilizing the opportunity that you have to enhance your knowledge. Thanks to Dr. Pankaj, and special thanks to Dr. Deepa, Assistant HOD, Department of Commerce, Dr. Ramya, Principal, St. Francis Evening College, and Mr. Pramod, Assistant Professor in the Department of Commerce, for all the support that all three of you have given today in terms of handling the technical things and other things. Thank you so much for helping us to host this FDP. Thanks to all the participants. Look forward for the remaining sessions tomorrow. Thank you so much. Over to you, Dr. Pankaj and Dr. Deepa.
So thank you, Karthik sir. As the daily tradition, I'm really thankful to the organizing team today. Deepa ma'am, much appreciable, and Soumya ma'am and Pramod sir, right? So I really must
No,
say,
it's Dr. Ramya.
without
Dr. Ramya.
team, it's quite impossible to manage these kind of sessions. So my heartful thanks to all three of you. And participants, please ensure that you are filling up your feedback forms. I've been reiterating that kindly use your email ID and name which you are using in ATAL portal, because if you by chance been marked absent, you will be losing out the credibility to write the exam as well. So kindly do that. And we'll be meeting soon again tomorrow with the new few more sessions planned for tomorrow on day 4. So till the time, please have a safe time to all of you, and good night to everyone. Thank you so much.
Thank you for all.
Thank
And a special
night.
thanks to our
Thank you all.
technician, Mr. Anis. Actually, he is guiding me. Still now, he is also staying back with me for supporting.
Oh,
Anis
Anis
sir,
sir.
thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Anis sir. This was actually unexpected for me. I didn't know. Deepa ma'am, thank you so much for mentioning this. A special mention to Anis sir. He's a variety person from St. Francis College. So I would really like to appreciate your efforts, sir. Thank you so much, Anis sir.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Hats off to dedication of all your staff, madam.
Thank you, Meenakshi ma'am. Thank you.
Sorry for that middle disruptions.
No
It
issue.
happens, ma'am. We understand, ma'am. We all are like that. But the good thing is we are able to make it.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you
All
once
right. So,
again.
thank you, ma'am. Deepa ma'am, please ensure on the cloud recording.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So thank you, ma'am. Again, everybody, good night.